You think God's ignoring you, but what if I told you his silence is the loudest warning you'll ever hear? When God goes silent, it's not because he's absent. It's because he's about to reveal something so deep, so divine, that noise would only ruin the clarity. And if you don't know how to discern the silence, you'll mistake his greatest work in your life as abandonment. When in fact it's precision, surgery, a divine pause loaded with instruction, discipline, and protection. And here's the first shocking truth. When heaven seems mute, the enemy gets loud, not because you're forsaken, but because you're on the verge of alignment with your assignment. And Satan always roars louder when he senses breakthrough is near, just like in Matthew 4, when Jesus fasted for 40 days in the wilderness and the Father said nothing, but the enemy came talking, tempting, twisting scripture. Because the silence of God terrifies hell more than the sound of judgment. And while you're pacing floors asking, why won't God speak? You miss that the silence itself is speech, that God is testing your spirit's ability to stay obedient without applause, faithful without affirmation, holy without immediate reward. Because maturity in the spirit is proven when you trust God even when he won't text you back, and right there, in the stillness, is the setup, because the second clue you must not ignore is the strange shift in your relationships. People start walking away. Doors begin to close. Conversations dry up. Connections that once gave you life suddenly go quiet. And you wonder, what did I do wrong? But you did nothing wrong. God is pruning your environment to match your elevation, because he won't shout your future while you're surrounded by yesterday. And this is the moment Isaiah 43 verse 19 becomes real. When God says, see, I am doing a new thing, but he doesn't do it on your schedule. He does it in his stillness, and you start to feel like you're suffocating in your own skin, your spirit agitated, your peace fragile, and yet no clear word from the Lord, because he's trying to burn out your addiction to feeling in order to teach you to walk by faith, not sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7, and then comes the third clue. Pay close attention to this. The patterns in your life start repeating. Old temptations resurface. Old wounds feel fresh. You start to battle thoughts and memories you thought were buried. And this is not regression. This is revelation, because God's silence often comes before he severs a cycle, and the only way to kill a stronghold is to expose it when you're sober enough in silence to see what noise distracted you from confronting. And if you think about it, every major turning point in Scripture was preceded by divine quiet. Before the flood, God was silent with Noah while he built the ark mocked by men. Before the resurrection, Jesus was 3 days in the tomb with no angels singing, no fire falling. Just silence and darkness and death, but hidden in that hush was the greatest reversal in human history. So stop assuming your delay is denial, and stop mistaking spiritual dullness for divine distance, because here comes the fourth hidden clue. Your dreams intensify, your sensitivity spikes, your discernment sharpens, and it's not just coincidence. It's God rerouting your reception. Because what used to come through sermons and worship now comes through whispers and windows of the Spirit, and unless you know how to listen beneath the silence, you'll be tricked into thinking you've been left behind, when in reality, God has moved from shouting to shaping, from delivering you from storms to developing you through them. And just like Elijah in 1 Kings 19, you're looking for fire and wind and earthquakes. But God's not there anymore. He's in the whisper, and that whisper is often preceded by silence, because heaven is strategic, not random. And finally, here's the fifth sign that God's silence isn't punishment. It's preparation. Your appetite changes, not physically, but spiritually. You lose taste for small talk. You grow restless with shallow pursuits. Your spirit starts groaning for something deeper, something holy, something pure, and you don't even understand why the things that used to satisfy now feel like ash in your mouth. And this is Romans 8 verse 26 in action, where the Spirit intercedes through groans too deep for words, because God is not ignoring you. He's building you into someone who can carry the weight of your next blessing without it crushing your character. And you cannot carry glory with a shallow soul, so he silences everything external so you can finally confront the internal. And if you're bold enough to stay still in the silence, you'll discover that waiting is not wasted time. It's war time, it's womb time, it's where seeds die so destiny can sprout. And God is not hiding from you, He's hiding you, like Moses in the reeds, like David in the cave, like Jesus in the tomb, and the silence is your sanctuary, your shield, your stretching ground, and though no one sees it. And though you cry at night wondering why heaven has shut its mouth, know this: God is closest when He feels furthest, strongest when He seems weakest, and most active when He appears silent. Because He's teaching you how to recognize His fingerprints without needing to hear His voice. So, if you feel like He's not talking, start watching. Watch the wind, the closed doors, the stirred dreams, the inner unrest, the loss of taste for what's toxic, and you'll see He's speaking in 1,000 hidden ways. And your only job is to shut out the world long enough to hear what silence is screaming. And if you dare to believe that, then stop begging for signs and start becoming one, because when God finally breaks the silence, it won't be to comfort you, it'll be to commission you, and you won't be the same. So stop asking for a word and start preparing for the wait, because when God finally speaks, it won't be gentle, it will be glory, and by then, you either rise ready or you miss the moment forever.